People say royal guards never smile. They stand perfectly still, faces calm, eyes forward, trained to ignore the world around them. Tourists come and go, cameras flash, jokes are whispered, but the guards never react. Or so everyone believes, but one afternoon outside Buckingham Palace, a simple act of kindness mixed with humor changed everything. What started as a light-hearted joke became a moment so human, so unexpected, that it left the crowd stunned, and one guard fighting back a smile no one thought was possible. Before the story begins, take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps Royal Guard stories continue, bringing you emotional and inspiring moments that remind us of the good in the world. And now, let's begin. Jason was visiting London from California. He wasn't famous, not a prankster, and not someone looking to cause trouble. He was just a friendly guy with a big heart and an even bigger sense of humor. Jason had always believed that laughter was a universal language, something that could connect people no matter where they came from. When he arrived at Buckingham Palace, he saw the royal guard standing tall in their red uniforms, looking almost unreal, like statues. Tourists crowded around them, whispering and pointing. Some tried to get a reaction by waving hands or making silly faces, but Jason noticed something important. None of those moments felt kind. They felt like challenges. Jason didn't want to challenge the guard. He wanted to respect him. That he stood a few feet away and noticed the guard's shoes, polished so perfectly they reflected the sky. Jason smiled to himself and quietly reached into his backpack. From inside, he pulled out a small, clean handkerchief. Slowly, carefully, making sure not to cross any boundaries, Jason leaned down and gently pretended to polish his own sneaker with the cloth. People nearby started to notice. A few chuckled. Jason then stood up straight, gave a serious nod toward the guard, and whispered just loud enough for others to hear, "Gotta stay inspection ready, right?" The crowd laughed softly. The guard didn't move. Jason could have walked away right then. But instead, he noticed something else. A little boy nearby, maybe 8 years old, was watching with wide eyes. The boy looked nervous, holding his father's hand tightly. Jason knelt down and said, "Hey buddy, you ever see a real-life superhero?" The boy shook his head. Jason pointed gently toward the guard and said, "That guy's on duty protecting history. That's a pretty big job." The boy smiled. Jason stood back up, took one step away from the guard, and gave a respectful salute. Not exaggerated. Not silly. Just sincere. That's when it happened. The guard's jaw tightened for a brief second. His lips twitched, just barely. It was so small that half the crowd missed it. But then his eyes softened. And for one unbelievable moment, a tiny smile broke through. The crowd gasped. Someone whispered, "Did you see that?" The guard quickly regained his composure, standing straight once again. But it was too late. The moment had already landed. The impossible had happened. Jason's face dropped into shock. He hadn't been trying to make the guard laugh. He was just trying to be kind. The applause slowly filled the air. Not loud, not wild, just warm. The kind of applause that comes from witnessing something special. The little boy clapped the hardest. Jason stepped back, hand over his heart, and quietly said, "Thank you." Later, Jason talked about that moment while sitting in a cafe nearby. He said something that stuck with everyone who heard it. "I didn't make him laugh," Jason said. "I just treated him like a person." That simple truth spread online when someone uploaded the clip. Millions watched it. Not because it was funny, but because it was human. In a world where people often try to go viral by pushing limits, this moment stood out for another reason. It showed that kindness doesn't need to be loud. Respect doesn't need attention. And sometimes, the strongest walls are softened not by force, but by empathy. The royal guard returned to his post that day, silent and disciplined as always. But those who were there knew what they had seen. Behind the uniform was a human being who felt the moment just as deeply as everyone else. And Jason? He went home with no trophy, no prize, just a story he would tell for the rest of his life. May this story remind us all that kindness has power. A smile, a respectful gesture, a moment of understanding can change someone's day, and sometimes, it can do the impossible. So wherever you are, whoever you meet, choose kindness. You never know whose guard you might help lower, even for just a second.